Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and so it's Heresy Thursday, and it's kind of an interesting one today because we kind of have two articles to talk about, not just the one. Now, the first one is the one that is Heresy Thursday, and that is Space Wolves getting new Praetor and new Mark 6 heads. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to say, I don't know what it is with Games Workshop and sort of just doing boring poses all the time. Like, it's a really boring pose. And when you compare it to Giga, the foul hand, which is a nice kinetic pose, it's very fluid, it's full of movement, and it gives it a real edge. It's like this one doesn't. It's just standing there. Yeah, it's got the cloak fluttering behind him, but it's kind of a dull pose. It's very boring. I'd rather see a nice. I like seeing nice kinetic movements in their models, especially an army like the Space Wolves, which are meant to be very melee based, very close combat, and they charge there. So it would really fit them more to have a Praetor within that, charging into combat rather than just, standing there, bolt pistol out, holding his axe. Anyway, actually, about the model set, it's actually quite nice. I like the look of the armor. I like how it's a Mark III armor, and it's very different. The runic, etchings, they look really nice. It's very Nordic. It's really hitting that early Space Wolf slash Viking vibe so much. It's doing really well. I like it. Even the helmet itself gives me, those Viking impressions. It's fantastic. It looks really nice, And okay, and also it is interchangeable as well. You can use it to have a helmet, or you can have no helmet. Depends on how Space Wolf you want to be. I would definitely use this for 40k. I reckon he would fit quite nicely into a 40k army, especially with that wolf skin on his shoulder pad and that axe. It looks really nice. Actually, it's quite a nice looking model. Like I said, the only real complaint is the pose, but at this point in time, I don't really see Games Workshop doing a decent pose for all their models for a long time, which is a shame, really. And also, they got that really cool shield on his backpack, on his back, I should say, which is also on his backpack. And yeah, it's kind of cool. It reminds me of the Isle of Man legs. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it gives me that vibe. Again, very Celtic slash Viking-y. Absolutely fantastic looking model. I do like it. I really do. Not quite enough to make me do Space Wolves. I prefer Thousand Suns too much to ever turn on Space Wolves. And yeah, gotta say, I like the car. It's a nice looking model. It's not too much as well, which is something I quite like. Games Workshop can do too much. They can really go over the top with the detail and armor look. And like if you look at some of the Chaos models, there's so much on there. It can be quite distracting, and this kind of is very much restrained from going too much. It's the etchings there. It looks nice, but it's not overpowering. It's not so far and thick and makes you think, oh wow, this is getting really boring. So yeah, I quite like it. And the axe as well, I like the markings on the axe. It's all really cool. It's a nice looking model. I do like the spare head as well. It's kind of cool. It's very dwarfish, again, fitting with the Viking theme of Space Wolves. And it's quite a fitting model. I like it. And yeah, but for stack, I look at it as a nice looking model. I would definitely use this in 40k as well. Nice little 40k model. Mark 6 helmets. They literally are just Mark 6 helmets with some extra bits on top. Honestly, if you were to tell me these were Space Wolves, I wouldn't guess 100 years that these were Space Wolves only. They are really just just helmets. Actually, when I was looking at them, I was thinking, yeah, this is a bit heretical. They could look quite nice on your Thousand Suns as well. I know, right? How bad is that? You get 11 heads, so you need 2 for a unit, of course. Yeah, they're alright. I mean, but they don't really scream Space Wolf at me. I mean, couple has a diamond ruby or whatever in it, and they have a couple of markings. But yeah, nothing really screams Space Wolves. They're kind of just nice pads. Honestly, they look good on veterans. If you want to use these on your veterans, they would look quite good, especially for your Ultramarines or actually even Emperor's Children. This would look quite nice because they're quite ostentatious, and they would look quite nice and on those too. The only one that really screams Space Wolf in this is the They just a normal head, not the helmet. So yeah, honestly, it's nice. They look good, but to save it with just Space Wolves, kind of pushing it a little bit. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. The other thing is the Certus Knight. Okay, the Certus Knight. Actually, this was yesterday. I should talking about this yesterday. I've completely forgot. But let's cover it now. Honestly, I don't look at Warhammer Community that much, unless it's basically Warhammer Horus Heresy, so Thursdays and Tuesdays, and when Old World drops as well. So the Certus Knight. Now this is something I kind of confused about. Like it's like they kind of understand what people have been asking for, but not quite at the same time. It's kind of weird. So with this Certus Knight, it is not the... Is it the Archeon? Well, it's the Archon and the Castigator. Those two. And basically, they've done whole sprues of weapon links. Ammo bout links. Well, that's what it is. It's a whole sprue for each of them of just the ammo links. I mean, I don't get it. Honestly, it's kind of weird. No, I do get it. I'll be honest, I do get it. It's so you can link them all up and you can make it as long and as short as you need, so you can have a lot more, maneuverability and in your army, in your Certus. I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it just seems like when I would have preferred weapon options rather than this. I would have preferred all of them to be having the same box with just a spare weapon sprue than having this, because honestly, it feels like they go, oh, they want some way to modify the army, their model, and you're like, yeah, we want that. So what are you gonna do? Well, instead of giving us more weapon options, it's like, oh well, now you can make the ammo bout longer or shorter. It's like, well, okay. Okay. Honestly, like what I would do with this is pretty much just convert it so the actual ammo pouch pack where bullets are kept for the bolters, and I would just kit bash that actually onto the weapon itself, rather than having this long bow. And I don't understand why the flamer of all things has this like tubing. It looks like with an ammo belt for the flamer as well, which is kind of weird. But anyway, look, this is just, like I said, this is kind of weird. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It's like lots of these models are full of pieces, and pieces that aren't really necessary for the model, which could have been quite easily done. I don't think that it definitely didn't need sprues for the ammo links, like whole sprues just for the links. That's going to fill someone's bits box up. It really is. Yeah, so that's it. That's just like Heresy Thursday. Yeah, this Space Wolves does pretty cool. I quite like it. But the new head, like I would have liked to see some Mark III heads. That would have been pretty cool. But yeah, the Mark VI heads, honestly, they could go with any veteran unit. You can easily paint them not to be Space Wolves at all, really. But the Praetor's pretty cool. And the ammo feed is kind of weird. I don't get it. I don't get that logic behind that. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good day. I hope you enjoyed watching this video on the Horus Heresy stuff. And what do you think? What's your opinion on the ammo feed? Would you prefer the ammo feed, or would you prefer, weapon choices? Which option would you go for yourself? The Praetor, would you use it in 40k? And anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good day. I hope everyone's finding you wow. Links to Whaling Games if you wish to save on your Warhammer and other games. Or try a different game, which I always suggest. Kings of War is pretty cheap on there, and they're starting a new army with Twilight Kin. That's just around the corner. Wild West Exodus is cool. Dystopian Wars has a new battle fleet coming. That's just been teased today. So there you go. Plenty there to try out and start. That's cool. Thank you very much. Of course, free delivery after £20. So you don't even have to spend that much to save even more money. Then there is Forbidden Planet if you like comics like me. And there's my comic, my merchandise, all done by my fair hand, and of course Patreon. But as always, treat yourself to something nice. It helps the channel either way. I bet that way we both benefit, and it's not just me getting money from you guys. And I always prefer it that way anyway. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.